Will blow the final whistle here this afternoon at Harden Hewish Park. So it is another goalless draw for Maidstone United. It is their third clean sheet in 4. So there are some disappointments in that sense. They just couldn't break the door down this afternoon, Adrian. It finishes 0-0.
No, I mean, we didn't really. You've got to say it's a really good, solid performance. I think we played well at the back, across the middle, and that. And we played reasonably well up front. We just don't seem to have someone that's going to stick the ball in the net, it seems to me. I mean, there was that chance sort of a few minutes from the end, wasn't there, for Matt Bentley, where if he headed it either way, it was going in the net. But, you know, we didn't create an awful lot. There's a lot of crosses in the box. We had a lot of pressure. I mean, you can't really complain in the performance. It was a decent performance. You know, after starting both halves struggling a little bit, I'd say, we towards the end, certainly we played them off the park and that, and you was looking one way most of that half and that, and it was up towards us, the way we were attacking and that. So no complaints on the performance. Shame we couldn't stick one in the net and that, but if we can start sticking them on the net at the end of that performance, 1 point will become 3.
And there's a few chances, not too many clear-cut ones for the Stones, but again it was mainly the aerial threat that the Stones had. You know, it was Temia Wecker's header over the bar. Greenwich had one in the first half as well. Benton's deflected shot wide. We mentioned it in the first half, a lot of set pieces then, but even more just wide balls in that second half. Ben Brooks, for me, getting a heck of a lot of service in as usual. Wecker's header seemed to be the best chance at one point. Bentley's header a minute from time as well was so close, like you say, it's just right down Henry's throat. I mean, a potential man of the match contender for Chippenham and for both sides this afternoon, Henry, because again, a few of them saying cracking save, and they're not wrong. They've done ever so well to keep that clean sheet themselves. Obviously, it's been a very good clean sheet from a Chippenham perspective. Will Dawes just coming past us now, an absolute terror right until the last, before those 10 minutes that he was off at the end of the game. But yeah, like you say, that Manning's shot that was dragged just wide, to be honest, in terms of what I've written down from how that match went, there wasn't too many clear-cut chances for Chippenham, and the bulk of the chances, the much better ones, were from Maidstone. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we had the bulk of the play, probably the better chances and that, but they're nothing that major. There's nothing you look at that and think. There's probably the one header that a Wecker, I think it was, put over the bar. That's the one you look at and think that should have gone in. That was on about 75, I think. That should have gone in, and it didn't. I think if it had been a forward, it would have been headed down, and I think that could have been 3 points for us and that. But, you know, again, I think you're early on, your 4th game in, you're playing like that, away from home. I don't have a massive amount of complaints about that performance. I'm quite satisfied with what I saw, and it just needs an end product now.
It does for the Stones. They were very close, as I say, with all those aerial chances this afternoon. It's a shame they couldn't stick one away to give us a chance of being a bit further up the table coming in to the Monday game, the bank holiday game that myself and Darren Stiles will be covering at the Gallagher on Monday. See Craig Fagan just walked past us as a little slap of the gate as he walks past us. It's another one of those that just slightly got away from the Stones this afternoon. All the Stones fans applaud their side off this afternoon, slightly less contentiously than the previous 0-0 at home, and it's not without the endeavour that we're pleased to see from the Stones. Just everything but getting that ball in the net, and they did a very good job of, I mean, they come very close to it. All the defenders coming through. Charlie Seaman getting a few minutes at the end there as a welcome moment for the Stones as well.
When you look around the side and that, there's no player had a bad game out there. They all worked really hard. They're all quite industrious and that. We look like we're starting to build a little bit of something up front and that, and it's starting to come in that. But they're still knitting together and that. You know, I think, you know, Benton was trying to invent quite a few things and that when he was on the pitch, and that Chris Nicky was all over the pitch getting the ball, knocking it off. I thought Gurung had a very solid game in that, and you didn't say that about him last season. He suddenly seems to have really grown into that role just in front of the defence and that he was playing today. You know, you look further forward, you look at Fonku, like a couple of runs down the wing and that, you start to see a bit more of that through the season. You'll be quite happy with everything really, you know. Blair, very industrious up front, battled well, showed a lot of strength really, considering the players were like 1.5 size bigger than him, sort of thing, half of the time. And that, you know, Fowler, Greenwich, performing I expect. Ben Brooks was fairly solid. Wecker a bit shaky at the start, but sort of grew into it and looked better. Andre Jr. didn't have masses to do, but didn't put a foot wrong when he did. And that, you can't complain. You can go right around that team and that, you know, even the ones that came on and say they all played okay and that. We just need just a little bit more in front of goal and that, and we're not too bad a side. We'll be up and there and thereabouts if you're playing like that.
George Elokobi in front of us, having a nice warm embrace with a fan on the sideline here. But probably the real star of the game this afternoon would probably be that bird that delayed the kickoff to start the second half. So it wasn't a blue bird that had the final say this afternoon, but certainly a different kind of bird that kept the play off for a few moments at the start of the second half. But 0-0, probably a fair result. Maidstone were knocking on the door, huffing and puffing. But yes, it's less than 48 hours until the next match for both these sides. And the Stones will be at home at the Gallagher. Myself and Darren Stiles will bring you that one on Monday. But for myself and Adrian, thank you for being with us this afternoon. And as always, Adrian, come on, you Stones.
Thanks a lot. Bye.